Thanks, Ed. You know what the cows said to an Omaha farmer this morning? She said, "Thanks for the warm hand. It'll get better." I want to thank Ed and Nike for trusting me with your time, because we know that you're not here on a Friday night unless you're really serious about what you want to learn, what you want to pick up, what you can do, and we value your time. And I have a tendency to definitely underpromise and really overdeliver. And somewhere in your piece there, I'm talking to you about another 10 points a game that I really can almost guarantee it if you do some of the things that we're talking about. Add 10 points to every game you played this year and see what your season would have looked like. And those are pretty bold statements. I need to find out what kind of hand I've been dealt. How many girls coaches are here? Wow, awesome. Okay. One of the things I hear from girls coaches is they say, and every time somebody talks about shooting, it's always they end up talking about the way boys shoot. Well, there is a difference, and you know that, and we're going to cover it. My biggest challenge is this: what I do takes 2 to 3 hours, and I'm going to have to do this in an hour, so I'm really going to move pretty quickly. And what I would suggest to you do, without going through my background and why it works and so forth, okay? Trust my information, trust the process, trust the sequence of what I'm going to talk to you about. It's taken me 20 years to do the research. It was all OJT. I was a good shooter. I was a pure shooter. But teaching it is something different. Just trust it. At the end of the day, in the next hour, go back and cross out what you don't like. We know that there are more than one way to do it. You all shoot a basketball. You all are protective about what happens of people talking to your kids about shooting a basketball. What's the definition of pure shooting? Pure shooting is a perfect sequence of, write this down, perfect sequence of mechanics at the right time. It's not just mechanics. It's not just perfect practice. It's the sequence of events that really take place that make it happen. And I know how it works. And I know what I'm doing. Now, in the last 7 or 8 years, what's my challenge? My challenge is, how can I get the kid to do it faster? How can I answer the question of the coach that says, well, that's not at game speed? Well, I know we've only been doing it for 2 days, right? But everybody wants something at game speed. Well, how can I get it there faster? How can this information do something that's going to cause it to happen? Quicker, faster, whatever. And when we talk about perfect mechanics, I'm talking in 1/4 inches and 1/2 inch. My friend, Frank Alacqua, Coach Alacqua, told me a story the last time I was with him because he was heir apparent to the quarterback job at Notre Dame. As a junior, he was sitting with Ara Parsegian, and Ara says to Frank, do you know why we only get 3 yards on that play some of the time, and some of the time we get 7? Frank goes, I don't know, Coach. He said, because if the guard is 2 inches over, we get 7. If he's not 2 inches in that spot, we get 3. My goodness, it's football. What do we do when we start talking about basketball? So inches are really important. And I'm going to roll through this pretty fast. And what we want from a shooter is consistency, right? We all hear that. We want it to be repetitive. We all want a large margin of error. When someone puts a basket up, a ball up, it doesn't have to be perfect. How many sloppy baskets do you want to make as a team? Come on, how many? All of them. We don't want to miss any. We want the ball to bounce around on the rim and go in. I love those baskets. That means we're doing something right. For 20 years, I've been teaching shooting a basketball the way we're taught to swing the club in golf. And it's golf that has taught me the sequence for basketball. How many play golf? Come on. How many break 100? Keep up, keep your hands up. There's a lot of you. How many break 100? How many break 90? How many break 80? How many break 75? I shot my age 3 weeks ago. We have one person or two that break 75, and we all play, right? Why? Because it's so difficult. Let me share something with you. I know this is basketball. This is what I've done. In this room, maybe we would fill it with the number of things and videos and tapes that have been written on basketball. If you talk about the amount of information that's been written in magazines and so forth about golf, you need a 10-story building and a big one. They're there all the time, right? So what do we do in golf? First of all, our feet have to be set right. We have to be in the right posture. Our hands have to be where it needs to be. We need to get it back in a position where the L position is here. We need to transfer the weight while the L position is still here. The L, the L, the L, the L, the air. At impact, we want that right hand to be in that position. And as we do that, the head has to be back here because it's the only thing that's going to release the club. Fair? How many things was that? Do you know how hard that is? And everything has to be absolutely specific. We want to be that specific, but we want to make it simple. We only have to shoot a basketball. There's only 10 things that we need to do to shoot that basketball correctly. 10. Now, I pulled some coaches. I said, do you want me to work with kids? Do you want me to take this wonderful team that came out tonight? You want me to work with them and show you what I do? They all said no, because nobody talks to you in a clinic sense about how do you really do this. Well, we're going to do that tonight. Some of you probably fell off your bicycle watching me hit a golf club, whatever. So let's get to it. Let's rock and roll. Let's write real fast. I'm going to try and make this happen as fast as I can. I mean, if I get through this, it will be awesome. So here's what we're going to do. Change in your, if you have on the notepad that I gave you, on your sheet, the handout, change the domino effect to sequence. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to connect the dots in shooting a basketball, many of which you already know. You've played. You know what the dots are, but you've really probably never connected them. I didn't. Not for probably 12 years. And then I realized there was a system in terms of how we can teach kids to shoot a basketball. Very successfully. Now I'm up to the fact of getting them really going in a very short period of time. And we know that's very hard. So let's start with domino 1 or sequence 1. The spacing and position of the feet. If in golf, we have to be perfect here, or if we're hitting a short shot, we've got weight on our left side, the right knee's here, we're hitting a wedge like that, all that's important. So feet are important. How do you find the spacing for your kids? Have them, come here, anybody, one of you. Come on, you can do it quick. Stand here. What's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Shot doctor. Jump him down, just jump up and down. Stop. I didn't tell Jeremy how wide to get. Jeremy is, my hand's 9 inches. Jeremy is 8 inches apart in the best jump that his body said that he could do, right? He just did what was natural. Fair? Your kids should all be between 8 and 9 inches. Thank you, Jeremy. That was very good. They should be 8 or 9 inches apart on every single shot they probably ever take. Why do divers go to the board and end up like that? Why do they end up like that? Why aren't they like this or on the edge of the board? Because they aren't going to get enough jump out of their legs. Do you want more jump or less jump in your body? Come on. More. Do you want it all the time, some of the time, or just whatever? You want it all of the time. You're driving over into the right-hand side. You think you've got it made. Weak side help comes over. You've got to take a fadeaway. You better have your feet there because your body told you that. Every one of your kids will have that position. So what you do is you get them to work on that spacing. How do they do that? I'm going to tell you now. You saw me shoot tonight, most of you. If you can do what I did there, you can teach everything I'm going to show you tonight. If I went out 10 years ago, and you can tell, if I can do it, you sure as hell can do it because I don't have any lift. I don't have any balance. I have a thing called drop foot. I stumble around. But my mechanics are good enough from 6 feet, I can make most baskets because everything's perfect. Everything. So it works. I lost myself for a minute. Where was I? Hold on. Teach them to do it at home. One of the things I'm going to share with you is you don't have that burden to have to be with them at all times. So if they're at home, have them do this in front of a TV. Have them do this in front of a pole. Have them do this with an imaginary ball. Let them dribble and jump until what? They've done enough repetitions that they've got that spacing down. Put that on their homework assignment. You'll find it throughout. It doesn't matter what they square up to. And obviously you're going to hear me, this is the philosophy of square. We have people out there teaching Larry Bird type shooting. He's not mortal. We can't teach that. We can't teach that. Who can teach Kevin Durant who shoots up here? It's amazing, but we can't teach that. And we're looking for 10 more points a game. We're looking for maybe 2 people that can score 20, 4 people that can get from 10 to 15, 3 or 4 more people that can get from 6 to 10. And I have coaches that say, well, they're not going to work that hard. They're never going to work that hard if it's not coming back to them. They're never going to work that unless they see success. We can grow them. How long do you think it would take to do that? Maybe 500 times. 500 times, that's nothing. They've been playing basketball forever. Fair? Head position. How do we establish the head position? You have them come 4 feet from the basket, look up at the basket right here, put a finger underneath their head, have them walk back, keep it there, get to the 3-point line, and say to them, never, never shoot a basket unless your head's at least in that position. Now, for boys, when I'm in that position, particularly here, you see the curve in my back? Because I took 8 to 12 pounds of my head, and my head is here. Now I have kind of a arc. I have a natural arc then. If my head's here, and I'm trying to get the ball up like that, I can't do that. But if I'm here, what do I get to do? I get to see the court. I get to see who's here. I have a ball. I'm standing here. I'm like this. My head's already there. I'm gone. I shot the ball. I don't have to go from here to here and take time for the defender to have his meet with me. He's going to get me. But if I'm here, right, I'm here, I'm already up and I'm there. Girls, your kids from in here are exactly in that position. Exactly. But as we begin to move out, and as we get something like this is what's happened to our posture. We head still up, but we go here. We need to have weight almost on our toes. The sternum is almost on our toes. The ball is here. We're not hunched, but we're like this. We're over the ball. Now what we're doing is we're here, we're jumping and releasing at the same time. And as we get to the 3, we are jumping and releasing, and you need to get to here in most cases. Now, I may cover this again in some of my notes, but I'm on a roll here. You don't want them to jump back, ever. Why? Because they're not going that way. They weigh 120 pounds, 110 pounds. We need all of it to go forward, okay? And they jump up and out, and the ball goes here. That's the difference. But in there, they're still here, curved back, heads up. They're in the right position. The reverse C is that back. Domino 3, boom. Ball position. Whoa. Ball position. If we're going to be square to the basket, if we're going to be here, and our head's going to be here, why in the world would we take a basketball and move it to the right or the left, depending on if it's a left-hander? Why would we create an angle that we don't need? I teach and have forever that that ball is in the middle of my body. Feet are, right foot's just slightly ahead of the left. If you're right-handed, the head's in this position, or if you're a girl, you're here, but the ball's still up here. Girls do not shoot down here. They're up here, but the ball's in the middle. We'll get to my elbows and the hands in a minute, but if it's here, boom, I'm right at the target. I love it when people say a right-hander goes in the corner to shoot a three. You know how the board comes out? It's a tougher shot than over there. How can it be a tougher shot if the ball's in the middle? It doesn't matter. And it's square to the basket. So we have feet square, we have hips square, we have shoulders square, we have the ball square. Everything's there. So have them sit in a chair at home, seams horizontal, let their nose bisect the ball right here, and have them do that. Have them do that. Every time they do that, you want that ball to come down on your nose. Boy, is that hard to do. I'm not kidding you. Right there. Always on their nose. Middle of your body. One thing on the jumper for guys. I don't want to see the ball but half over the forehead. So it would be like this. Half of the ball's this way, half of the ball's this way. What happens when it gets back here? Austin Carr made a living of it at Notre Dame and the Cavaliers. He never got it blocked. But he's not mortal. Nobody can do that. So what we want is we want to work under that ball, don't we? So let's have it here. And it can be up here if it's off the board. If it's not, back here. But wherever the jumper is taken, we want it here. Once again, girls, we want to be here. We want to be here. You decide, whatever, but it can't be here. Fair? The ball doesn't do anything but go up and down. It does not go side to side. It just doesn't do that. By the way, and this is kind of, in the boys' sense, when they go up to shoot a jumper, particularly here, this knuckle, right there, the index finger, okay? That knuckle comes right down almost on the forehead. And that's how it tells them where it is. How are they going to do this? They're going to go home, they're going to get in a chair, they're going to sit here, they're going to put the ball here, and they're going to go like this. Try to get it to their nose. Try to get it to their nose. Boom. You're not there. How many reps would it take to do that? 1,000? So what? Who cares? They want to get there. They have dreams. We're in the dream business. I mean, you're in such a wonderful, and I respect so much what you do. Goodness gracious. I mean, your role models, you do everything. But we're in the business of having dreams come true for the ones that'll work. And by the way, work with the ones harder that deserve it, not necessarily need it. I know that's hard. Sometimes they're all in need. But work with the ones that really deserve it. Let's get to the hand position. You've got a page that has a basketball in it, right? And when we talk about hand position, oh my goodness, in golf, if your grip's over here like this, or it's like this, or it's like this, you can't play. But if your hand position, where the V here is pretty much in the middle of your shoulder, this V is here, those two hands match up, and they're in position so that we come down, the club squares up, and we hit it there. You do anything with these hands on this bat, Freddie, help me, Couples is like this. He's not mortal. We can't do it. It's too hard. We want to do what works for most of the kids. We want to work with those who want to become superstars, but they have to be fundamentally correct, or at least try to get it to there. Is that fair? The follow-through position has always been there. What does that mean? Ever since I can remember, and I just talked to Miss Bay, I've sat here and done this just like you have. Do you notice I have hardly any grip pressure every time I do that? Do you notice that 9 times out of 10 the ball's in the middle of my head when I do that? Why didn't you shoot that way? It was the best you had for rotation, extension, direction. But the minute you took it down from here, you did whatever else you did, but you didn't pay attention to what you did easily. What I'm talking to you isn't easy, but it's simple. And we have to pay attention to what we already have. And you had that, so do they. So let that follow through happen, we'll talk about grip pressure in a minute. I was told, an NBA player that I talked to, he said, what are you doing with the kids? I said, you've never seen this hand position in your life, ever. So, oh, yes, I have. No, you haven't. Oh, no, I have. I said, well, who does this? Jerry West. He played with them for 2.5 years in LA. He said, this is exactly the way Jerry West held the ball. I went, wow, Jerry West. But the way I got there is I'd sit around like you. I'd be standing here like this. I always liked to present the ball to the basket when I was practicing, right? And I'd sit here like this and I'd be there. Guess what? That's exactly where it is. I'd just turn the ball over and it was always there. It was always there. I'd get there and I'd go like this. That's where my hand was. And what was it? It was in the follow-through position. If we take the follow-through position and we move it to there, and we move it down here onto the ball, and by the way, it can only go so far that way, right? When we do that, we're in that position. Look at my thumb and my little finger. They're almost right across from each other this way. Now let me take this finger and let me put it in the middle, and when I put it in the middle, what happens? The thumb is dramatically lower than the little finger. Now you may not think that's very important, but it's really heading that way. Well, I want it to head that way, when that hand is in the middle. But if it's here, we can use that index finger to really move the ball, as well as a little bit of this finger. There's a theory out right now, and I don't know about it. I haven't done it enough, right? But I've got a couple kids working on it. That the deal is that you shoot, and 3 fingers go up and 1 finger goes down. Why? They want those 3 fingers off the ball as quickly as possible so it doesn't disturb the shot. Okay, but I believe that 2.3 fingers, and a third of the fingers really shoot this ball. I think a little of it comes out here. And I'll share one more thing with you. Every time I shot the ball, it was like this. There was a little turn of that part of the body, that part of the arm, right in here. So when I shot, it would be like this. And the snap was really there. The extension of this socket was really there. And I always did that. And if you do it, and you horse around with it, you're going to find that you've got tremendous leverage from that position. I guess it worked for Jerry West. He did okay. But he shot the ball over here, didn't he? Was he mortal? I don't know. I really have no idea if he was mortal, but he certainly was terrific. He's got to be in the top 5 basketball players that ever played the game. Here's what the flying elbow is. If the finger is here in the middle, I can still go up and shoot like this. If the finger's on the valve stem and it moves over here, what happens to the right elbow? What happens to it? Come on, you can talk, it's allowed. Really, what happened to the elbow? It can't go out. There's no way you can have a flying elbow if your hand's in this position. It is anatomically impossible. You'll never get this, ever. This is really critical. This is a Band-Aid. Pay attention. I slap my hand on the ball just as if I were being sworn in. And it's in your notes. You'll notice that relaxed, I'm here, the index finger fits between my left hand index finger fits between this index finger and the big finger. That's it. Take your fingers like that. Come on. You feel the tension right there, right? Now just move it to where there isn't any tension. Every one of you will know that you can do this. Go like this. Real stiff, move your hands. Now go like this. What do you want? You want this? Or do you want this? I was 17 years old. We had a physical fitness program in the country. One of the things was a baseball throw. I have the same wiener arms that I had, not much bicep. But I threw a softball 330 feet on a fly. I once threw a baseball at Comiskey Park down the chute in right field where the people would have been coming up. Why? Because we hold it like this. You take a ball, where'd my golf ball go? No kidding. Where's my caddy? Talk to me, talk to me. Talk to me, okay. If you grab a ball and you grab it like this and you go to throw it, where's it gonna go? Come on. I got 7th graders faster than you guys. If I throw it, where's it gonna go? Anybody? Hello? It's gonna go right in the ground. But if I grab it and I throw it relaxed, I can throw it a mile. We want this hand relaxed. We don't want that spacing. I can tell you that most of your kids are this wide on a basketball. You can see it. You just can see it. And when they're this wide, what's happening? They're tightening everything up. Do we want to tighten? There's nothing athletic that's done extremely well that isn't relaxed. Nothing. Everything we do, if it's relaxed, the body moves, everything happens, and we really we accomplish what we're trying to do. Work from the valve stem. It really helps. Work there. Can't see it. You can't see it in your handout, but the valve stem's right at the tip. How long would it take somebody to do that? Come on. We sit here like this, we go like that, or we sit here, and I painted my own hand on the ball. And what happens is there's just as much ball over here as there is over here. It's perfectly equidistant, which means that my hand is square on the ball. Here are my legs, my shoulders, everything, my head, everything's square. The ball's in the middle, it's square to the basket, and guess what? My hand is square on the most important object that we have. This grip is critical. It's the last thing that happens in shooting a basketball. If this isn't right, it's gone. Now that doesn't mean if a kid's got here and he's in the middle or she's in the middle and she isn't going to move, lighten the grip pressure. Lighten it. However, if they're in a chair, why are they in a chair? Because they can't use their legs. It makes them follow through. So they're here like this, boom. They walk over here, they go like this, boom. And what do? I ask them to go like this, sitting, watching TV. Find that hand, find that hand. Make sure everything's right. Make sure it's where you want it to be. Find that hand, find that hand. You can watch a basketball game, do this how many times? Thousands. You go shoot a basket, and you get your hand ready, and you shoot the basket. Maybe it hits the rim, maybe it goes through. Milliseconds and seconds go by. While I'm sitting in a chair, I could do 10 of those or 20. Write this down. Give me the motion, and I will give you all the baskets you've ever wanted. Ever. But you've got to give me the motion. Golf. Everybody wants to grab a driver. Right? But if their positions are right, even if the ball's not going right, and they keep working on those positions, just like we do in basketball, eventually what? It works. It really works. The epiphany is you do not need You do not need to have a basket and a ball. Miss Bay and I were standing here working on this. This is hard. I take the ball, I put it on the flat part of the big finger. Here's my index finger's behind it because that's the one I want to use. I'm here, boom. I'm here, not very good. Went in, I'm here. What am I teaching myself? I'm teaching myself to rotate this index finger underneath the ball, create rotation, and make the shot. How many times would I do that? By the way, I'm also building up my wrist. I'm building up my wrist. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting stronger. Domino 5. The pocket has died a death I can't even believe. I can't believe. What's the pocket? The pocket's this. There's a hole here. The base of the ball goes to the base of the fingers. Remember, those fingers, one index finger on the left side, that's all they're spread. That's it. So we rotate with our hand, our fingers, underneath, boom. What's the transportation to the basket? Your legs. Put your brain in your legs, you'll figure out how to jump to get it to the basket. But the other is, we gotta release it. We have no pocket, what are we gonna do? Shove it. Girls. Interesting about girls. That's as far as my hand goes back. Only with girls have I seen this hand drop below the wrist, actually get to here. They have no pocket and never will. Don't fight with them about it. Put it there, but make sure that as it rotates out of that palm, that those fingers are involved and they're in this position. Just don't drive yourself crazy because I've already been there. And it is okay. Plus, if they get their hand back like that, what kind of wrist release do you think they'll have? Woo! Big distances. Get that be your three-point shooter. We want to work with the pocket. You've got that all in your notes. Oh, somebody know, was it John Posey, Ed Posey, some Posey in Montana a bunch of years ago? He creates this glove. It has no fingers out here, and there was a pad that went right in here, right here. So when the kid when that player wore that pad, they couldn't have their palm touch the ball. It was $6.75. I had a coach say to me today, well, he's been doing that since he was in the 9th grade. $6.95, he wouldn't have done that. And if there isn't made, go get a big golf glove, cut the fingers out of it, bigger, but stick some kind of cotton or tissue underneath so when they grab the ball, they'll have a pocket. How many times do you want them to do that in a chair? Till they get it done. Till they get it done. But along the way, they've got to have positive reinforcement. So they've gotten really good at this. They've gotten really good at this. They've gotten really good with the hand position. We grow them. But they grow themselves at home. You know how important the hop is. You know how important that is. Can't do this. Now my body's here and the basket's there. I can't do that. I'll get to it. I know I'm moving fast. The hardest part of this is I have to move fast. I'd rather go down, come up, get some questions. I'll be here all weekend. Talk to me if you need to. Or shoot me, whatever the case might be. Well, not really shoot me. Kids, the left hand is just as important on the ball as the right. When you put your left hand on that ball and it is in the pocket, I don't care if you're shooting like this or not. If it's in the pocket, right, that's a lot of fingers that are coming off this ball. There's a lot of leather here that's coming off that ball. You need to have a pocket in the left hand as well. You need to have it. They mirror each other. Right hand pocket, left hand pocket. Why? There's less resistance. We could all shoot a ball like this. And we'd be very effective. One little finger on that ball, we would be very effective. We'd have nothing from here. Many people believe that the left hand is the guide hand to the basket. It is not. It's not. The elbow is. What do I mean? We'll get to that too. If the elbow is here and it isn't out here, look when it's out here. Look when it's here. Look at all that pressure. We have people that can really shoot a basketball. How did they do it? 30,000 times. They did it and they made it their own. But they're not mortal. We can't teach it. But if we have a pocket here on the right, we have a pocket here on the left, and literally, in the jumper, doesn't the hand just come down? It just comes down as the ball is twisted, and we shoot it. But if it's like that, it's going everywhere. If we're square to the basket, everything's right, ball's going to go pretty straight. Haven't worked that out. How are they going to do it? It's a key component, guys. Put a star there. It's like somebody forgot to write the page about the left hand. Works for my kids. Works for mine. Grip pressure is the most important component. It is my baby. It's my baby. Here's how you fight. Now, when you go like this and you're just playing around and you're doing this, guess what? You hardly have the ball. You're just doing that. Shoot like that. Shoot like that. Really? How do you find grip pressure? How important is grip pressure, Mr. 75? How important is golf grip pressure? Pretty lot, right? So we're here like this, right? If we let the golf club, we grab it real tight, and then we start to relax. We're at a 45-degree angle. When that golf club starts to bob, and we're trying to relax our hands just to a point so where it doesn't fall, that's the grip pressure we use in golf. Right there. If we grab it in the golf swing, we grab it from up here, we go like this, we cast that way. If we grab it, it's going to either hit it fat or scull it, hit the top of the ball. All because of the right hand grip pressure. So grip pressure is pretty key in the most specific game that's ever been devised. How do we find it? We go like this. We hold the ball, and just let it work down the hands. The skin's got to be on the ball in a pocket formation. And we let it go, it's going to fall, and I hold it. That's it. That's the grip pressure we want when we're shooting a basketball. Kobe Bryant says he digs in here. I can't believe it. I have to believe that when he gets to here, his rotation isn't coming from this, it's coming from that. But that's how you find it. Come here. Please. Name?
Carl.
Carl. Let's stand sideways. We're kind of kidding, but the guys like it over there. Take your index finger, and just index finger, that's this one. That's his left hand. Okay, just press the ball down a little bit. Go on. How hard was that?
Pretty easy.
Pretty easy, wasn't it? I'm ready to take a shot. Push it forward. Trust the information. Discard it later if you don't like it. But I'm going to tell you this story. Thanks, Carl. I have all these stories, but I don't have time to tell them. I'm going to tell you this one because it's current. St. Edward's High School with my kid Kipper won the state championship last year in the highest rated offensive efficiency in the 50-year history of high school basketball. Now, Kipper's 70% in the final game didn't hurt. In fact, he had 22 points at the end of the third quarter of his team's 37. But then they started to help. But prior to playing against the second toughest team in the area, with a kid that's 6'9", he was 5th rated power forward in the United States. And his friend, 6'8", is probably headed to Ohio State. This was not chopped liver. This was really tough stuff. Coach called me and said, can you work with Tony? And I said, well, ask him first if it's okay, and ask his dad if it's okay. And it was okay. Tony hadn't hit a 3 in 11 games. He had not had double figures for 10 games. Tony was lost. Deer in the headlights. You've got lots of them, don't you? Deer in the headlights. So he came after he pumped iron. They gave him to me for 40 minutes, right? For 40 minutes. I never let him shoot anything but up to the foul line. He never went back and shot a 3. I gave him 3 things to do. And by the way, in a jumper, you do not jump forward. If you take a jump shot and you jump forward, where's the ball going to go? Low. Low. You're never going to be able to get arc. You're going to be here and whatever. I said, Tony, don't do that. Don't jump forward. Pause in your jump shot. This is not a Tuesday. And I said, the last thing you do, got to have light grip pressure. Now, if you can't do 3, do 2. If you can't do 2, light grip pressure, you have to do that. A Tony shot like this, palm player, boom, shove, shoulder, which is never involved. It just follows through with the shot, but his is boom, right? Thursday night, 18th birthday for Tony. In the neighborhood he grew up in, an away game. Tony makes 4 out of 5 threes. 18 points. Kipper makes 23. We win by 6. I spent 40 minutes with him. And all he did was lighten his grip pressure. That was it. When you lighten the grip pressure and you're working with a kid, the ball's always short. How can they get it there? Oh, how can I get it there? Oh, how can I get it there? Then all of a sudden they hit the net. Then all of a sudden they hit the rim. All of a sudden they make 15 in a row. And they sit there and they go, what was that? Because it came from here. They've been doing it forever. And it works. That's the biggest Band-Aid I can give you. I can't give you a better Band-Aid than that. I really, really can't. We did all that. What are the advantages? Well, your hand's quicker, get the shot off faster, rotation's terrific. You can't stop the direction because you're not grabbing it. It's pew, pew, pew. It's straight. It increases your distance and your extension. It's very hard to stop when you've got light grip pressure. And this socket of this arm is very important going forward. Very important. Positioning of the elbows. Now we're going to move. Again, a subject not even discussed. Throw me a ball. See where my elbows are? Throw me the ball. They're already in the shooter position. Throw me a ball up there. They're always in the shooter position. What's the shooter position? I don't want the elbows wider than the edge of the ball. They need to be in the edge of the ball. Here and here. If the ball were bigger, they'd be like that. But since the ball isn't bigger, they're going to be here like that. Girls too, right there. Now they're really parallel. I mean, they're on. Feel like you're on a shelf. Stand there with your kids. Say, drop them on my arm. Drop them right here. Drop them. They drop them. I said, that's the feeling you need to have. Girls, we need to shoot a 3. We're in this position. Notice it's just a little bit out in front of us. What we don't want to do is let that arm come back. And there's a little circle here if the ball's down here. It goes like this. It goes like that. Jump shot doesn't have a circle. Now, folks, if we're square to the basket, if our hand is square on the ball, fair? Everything is square. Everything is here, okay? The elbows are inside the basket. They're inside the basket, okay? They're inside the basket. Where's the ball going to go? And we're not over-controlling it with heavy grip pressure. Where's the ball going to go? Come on. It's going to go in the basket. We're all square. We're right here. Boom. right to you. I hit you almost in the middle of your lanyard. And I have diminishing skills, obviously. Thanks, Carl. Take cue. So if we miss it, and we're in all these great positions, and how should we miss it? Either what? Short or long. Short or long. So if it goes off to the left, there's a pretty good chance that this elbow was here instead of here. Now, it's not this. Doesn't look like that. It's natural. It's easy. It's here. Just lays there. Boom, center of the forehead, and move it up. Again, the only difference with the girls is we're bringing it down, and the longer shots, we're a little bit more in this position with our head up, and as we jump forward and release the ball at what? The same time. In a jumper where we have a pause, we wait to the top of the pause, which is our set position, and we hit it. And that's number domino 8. Who in all of our experience had the greatest pause and the greatest jump and the greatest change of direction in the air, stayed there forever? Who was that? MJ, Michael Jordan, right? He'd come in here like this and boom! Now this is the real floor. There is a floor up here, people. It's just as valuable as that floor. And this is primarily a jumper, this is primarily with guys, okay? But you come in here, you jump, you pause, and you shoot. But all of this is still there. All of that's still square. One of the things the pause does for you, in addition to the hop, which has to come off, if we're here like this, and we hop, and we go up, right? We can get this right hip around if the basket's over there. It gives us time to get square. And by the way, if we're getting a pass, we could already be in the hop, heads back, boom. In about a half to 3/4 of a second, that ball is gone. You get to 3/4 of a second and you let the ball go, you're in pretty good company. But you're already set up with everything that you learned in a chair, that you learned from you. You walked them through the repetition of getting to that point. Practice without a ball first. Do this, do this. Let them feel that. Jump. Remember, the spacing has to be there. It's important. The release. You can hear the ball coming off the index finger if it's right. You can hear it. And the release, I call it the cobra. I have kids do this, walking around school. 2 fingers on the thumb, 1 finger on the thumb. They're doing this all day. They're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing that. They're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this. It gives them that feeling. You ever seen a cobra strike like this? No. It strikes like that. Like that. Basketball. Basketball. And we got a stronger wrist. We get better rotation. And in the extension, girls, got to have this circle from here. Got to keep talking about that. Got to have this circle. Got to be able to come back and shoot. Not very big. You also notice at the right elbow, girls, coaches, it comes here. We don't want that. Why do we have that? Because when they were little, they did this. That's how they got it there. Nobody, if you have kids, you got 6th graders, 5th graders, you want to start with your kids or somebody, you teach them to jump to get the ball to the basket. Jumping gets the ball to the basket, not throwing. And your kids will come quicker. Now they have those little balls for kids, right? When I grew up, it was big balls, just like this. Tough to do. Number 10. No. Left hand. I want them to shoot and touch the bracelet. I have a bracelet, right? My dad's Second World War bracelet in the Navy. Okay. I want to shoot and touch that. Why? Here's what happens with them most of the time. It's what they do with their arms. I want that left hand to touch that wrist. Why? They'll hold that position longer. They'll follow, it'll help them extend. You have to wait to get that left hand there. You have to be there. They know the left hand's going to be there. That extension is always there. You got a problem with extension? Drill. God, that's as high as I can go. Put somebody out there at about like this, 21 inches. Make them shoot I can't do it. Make them shoot the basketball from there, right? They have no legs. It's too wide. So what are they going to do? They're going to extend. I did that with Kipper the first time. He didn't hit the basket. Third time, he finally got the rim. Then he made 37 in a row. First time I ever saw him. And he said, this is cheating. What'd you do? Jump over the line? No. For the first 6 practice games of the season, he didn't miss a foul shot. And he's a 90% foul shooter. I took him out of that because we got to do other things. Boy, I'm losing it. The arc. Get down on a knee, put your arms together like that. Tell them if you had $1 million and you had to drop it right there, how would you do it? They'll come like this. Prove to them that the ball comes down like this, the basket gets bigger. Well, we know it doesn't come straight down. We know that, don't we? But we want to get it up. What helps us get it up? This head position. So if we're here and we're into a jumper and our head's here and we're up, elbows are there, ball's there, head's here, we got a pretty good chance to work under the ball for that. Girls, we're in here like this, the head's still up, but we've tilted a little bit. We've tilted to get that weight to go forward. We're sitting here like this, chest high. Everything else is the same. We jump and release. We get here. Sometimes you get them to walk to here. Why? On a 3, the ball comes out farther. They may pick it up and score. And we're also training them to look at the ball and the basket, particularly the front of the rim, differently. You don't want to look at it in a straight line. You want to fall in love with that. And you can get them to do that. They fall in love with the arc, you can't stop them. You couldn't tell them not to do it. It's absolutely impossible. We need to retrain their eyes. So we exaggerate the arc. We need a basket for that. They do that at home. Okay? We need a basket. We need to get them, if they're here, we want to ask them to shoot it up to the top of the basket, top part there, and let it fall. We're going to work on that. Pretty soon they get, wow, I can do that. What are they doing with good arc? They're working under the ball. What happens when they work under the ball? Great rotation and direction. The layup. Every layup from about the 8th or 9th grade should be underhand, not overhand. Little kids, if they come in here like this, boom, they have to make that shot. But underhand, 2 physicists, physics professors at Case Western Reserve proved that this was far more efficient than going this way. So you give them the ball, they come in here, 3 or 4 or 5 steps, this is hard to do, and it goes like that. But it goes up the board and is extended, it is extended like this. Somebody's on your butt, you're coming down here, and you gotta get close. You can't be out here, otherwise it'll go like that. So you get here, and you've got all that momentum. You can go faster to the basket if you are working up the basket. And you don't stop. You keep going down to get on defense. Took a 9th grade team, 57% on their breakaways and their foul shots in 1 week. What did they do? 93% and never looked back. Never looked back. Then get them to dribble a couple, right foot, right foot, whatever, up like that. But the key is it isn't a flip. It's like a place. See that arm? It almost comes out, I can't even do it dead. My hand spins the ball at all times. That's your layup. Obviously, I shortened that up. And if you can go faster, it makes it easier. 6-footer, teach them the backboard. They're still in the same position in a jumper, or their hand is over here. Girls, grab the ball. You still grab it. Triple threat, whatever. You still grab it. When you go up, you soften it up. Use the board. It's a longer shot. You need more energy, but it's there. 15-footer. The ball probably needs to be lowered. If a guy can shoot it from up here and he's comfortable, fine. But if he comes to here and he can't do it because he's walked out too far, bring the ball down. Girls, if you're here, look at the leverage we have. When we're up here, we have very little leverage. There's not much there, right? It's down here. So when we're here, boom, boom. It's just the ball going up or down, just like we talked before. They're in the reverse C, you know what that is. In the non-jump shot, which is every girl probably, and younger person, we still have to be here. We have to be lower. We have to jump and release. The infamous three-pointer. It's no different. I have them shoot their foul shots in the same way they shoot their threes. So if they're here like this and they shoot that, the spacing of their feet are the same. I convince them that they are practicing their three from 15 feet. When they get here, what do they do differently? They jump more. Why? Because that's what gets the ball to the basket. Brain and the feet and the legs gets the ball to the basket. With the girls, again, sternum kind of forward, get in this position. Now we're not falling over, but we're close because we need the momentum to get to the basket. I want to get to that foul shot, big time. Is it there? Whew. I don't believe in dribbling. I don't believe in somebody coming out here, going like this, doing this, because it's always different. You may think they're on the line and they're going like this. Well, sometimes it's here and sometimes it's here. So what do I want? I want somebody to present the ball. First, they're getting the right hand position. I want them to present the ball, this line, right in the center of the basket. Elbows are here, right? Fair? So we're here. With girls, they're going to come back and they're going to shoot. With guys, they're here and they're going to come up on the balls of their feet, but they're not going to go forward. Key thing for girls, let them jump a little. If they can't get it to the basket, younger kids, let them jump. And they'll jump like this. I have two girls that shoot 93, 94% from the foul line in college, and they jumped about that far. Nobody knew they jumped. I do not like, unless you're not mortal, the mortals can do this, I do not like this. I do not like this. It's stuck. It's not natural. They do it because it works. They've done it how many times? 10,000, and they can make it work, right? We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. What would Calipari would have given for 9 more foul shots made? A national championship. I sat there and went, 9 missed shots. And the arc of the foul shot isn't as high. It's more efficient. You find it. It doesn't have to be up here. It's unnecessary. Big key. I want you to convince your kids that they're their points, not the team points. This is just as important mentally as it is physically. Convince them it's their points. The team didn't do anything, they got fouled. Why do I want to do that? Because they're not going to disappoint anybody. If they miss, they're not letting the team down. Why? Because it's not the team points, it's their points. Get in their head. Get in their head. And last, no foul shot's worth more than another. No matter what the score is, you don't care. You don't care. Why do you make so many in practice? You don't care. Put your brain to that position there. No foul shot. Kipper Nichols went, 7 seconds on the clock. We're up 2 in overtime. Championship game. He has to make these 2 to seal it. The first one he makes, the second one he makes, I grab him on the floor. I said, did you do it? He said, absolutely, Doc. I didn't care. It was my foul shots. The homework's there. Type out assignments for them. Send them home with it. Give them feed them little bits, right? Have them text you when they start in the chair. Have them text you when they're doing some of their stuff. Have them text you when they're done. They love to do it. They don't want you to think they're working hard. And it works. All these changes are not for everybody. But by goodness, if I had somebody that didn't have an arc, what would I do? I'd look at their back, I'd look at their grip pressure, we'd fix the arc. If the ball's short, I'd have them jump more. If they're coming down and it's flat, you gotta get the pause, you gotta be in the air and shoot when you get to the top. Don't let it come down a half an inch. A half an inch. Bobby Knight said to me years ago, basketball is the most overcoached, undertaught sport in America. 351 kids later, I have never had anybody give me a two-handed chest pass like that, which reverses. It's always like that. 351 times. Don't we think, he moved it, don't we think, nice shot, Ed. Don't you think they might have got that in the 7th grade? You don't have time for it. Put the burden of the time on them. Do that. But don't give up on a kid if you can help it. Don't give up. You never have any idea. My 7th grader made 29 out of 30 foul shots against Kipper Nichols, who made 26 out of 30. I just watched them shoot. What was it? 55 out of 60 foul shots. And she's in the 7th grade. And he didn't shoot 90 by one. Everybody can do it if they have the fundamentals and the mechanics are correct. And it's a lot easier to coach them on the offensive side of the ball than you could ever imagine. And the smile it puts on their face, there's no money in the world that can replace that. You guys talk too much. Thanks for the night. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.